Drilling in on the remote thing a little bit.
Yes.
Like, I mean, we find it, I think we're doing great, but we find it hard just having Europe and the West Coast of America as time zones. So and we're nowhere near the scale of Atlassian, we're 10 people. What are the tools and techniques at your disposal to make culture, engineering, rhythm work across, like literally globally? How do you do it?
Look, first of all, let's just acknowledge that nobody has the right answers on this. We've just gone through COVID and something the world has never experienced before. And I think we are all kind of struggling to find the right answer here. Atlassian has taken the position of what we call Team Anywhere. So we strongly believe that the world has changed and that we believe in distributed teams, we believe in remote teams, and we basically believe in talent available all across the planet and people working from wherever they choose to work from.
Okay.
And so that's something we have leaned into heavily. At the same time, it doesn't mean we don't have offices. We have offices all over the world: Sydney, the Bay Area, Austin. We're starting one in Seattle. And so we believe the office is a place where you can come in to do what we call intentional togetherness. So what we believe is, it's not like you just work remotely and you never meet people. You need human connection. You need to work together. And the offices are a place where you can build that connection, and we call that intentional togetherness. Where you can come in, you can do off-sites, on-site, you can do team events, you can do brainstorming together, and then you of course go back to your homes or locations or wherever you are and continue to work on Zoom or remotely as well. So that's kind of our philosophy.
Yeah.
And we believe it gives flexibility to people. So we're one of the few big companies that are not saying, hey, come back in 3 days a week and we'll make sure that you're coming in so many times and so on. We don't believe in sort of like bean counting and tracking our folks.
Yeah.
We want flexibility for people to work sometimes in the office, sometimes at home, whatever makes sense for them.
Yeah.
And so that's the space we are in. But again, everyone's experimenting and we're all learning and trying to figure things out. In terms of what we have done with our tools and such, we have leaned heavily into developer productivity for engineering.
Okay.
And one of the tools we build is called Compass. So what is Compass? Compass is a tool that you can go to figure out where are all your microservices, where are all your repos, where are all the different components. For each component, what is the documentation? Is there a wiki for it? Who's on call, etc. So no matter where you live in the world, you can always go to Compass to figure out, oh, I'm working with this component. How do I use the APIs? You don't need to wait for an engineer to wake up in a different time zone.
Yeah.
You can self-serve and empower yourself to get going. One of the stories I have is, as an engineer, early days of Microsoft, 2 a.m. in the morning, I'm sitting writing code. I was working on the Windows NT source code, one of the most amazing code bases, by the way. And I was so empowered. I could set a breakpoint anywhere in the operating system. I could debug anything.
Yeah.
I could build the whole OS on my dev box. And I didn't need to wait for someone to talk to someone. I could get going and write code. And we talk of that in terms of developer joy. It's that loop of you're writing code and you don't have friction and you don't have to stop and ask somebody a question. So that's kind of what we're trying to do in Atlassian, is to make our tools, developer tools, things like Compass, everything that we use with Confluence, documented, as I said, the microculture of writing things down, so that as an engineer, you are not blocked no matter which part of the earth you're in. So that's one part of it.
Love it.
The other part of it is we have divided the earth into a few what we call halos or collaboration zones. And we try to make sure that any team like the Jira team or the Confluence team or any particular product team for a size of say 150 engineers is only across 2 time zones, and we call that a single collaboration zone. For example, West Coast, US and Sydney, or Sydney and India.
Close-ish together.
Close enough together so you have at least 4 to 6 hours of overlap
Yeah.
and you can reasonably work together across that. And we call that a collaboration zone. And we actually make sure that our teams are healthy from a collaboration zone standpoint.